It's 2:45 in the morning. I'm tired as shit. I've taken two melatonin pills trying to take my ass to sleep so I can actually catch up on sleep. And yeah, I'm tired as fuck. My sleep schedule has been fucked. Today Chris Harris was dead. He passed yesterday, so that's really been fucking me up. The NBA came back today. Metroid Dread's a good game. Life's pretty up and down at the moment. But really, this sleep schedule and my energy the last couple of days has really been just it's almost unmanageable. Well, not unmanageable, but it's really fucking with me. But despite those circumstances, here I am recording a video on Bardock. And the discourse surrounding the latest super spoilers, I feel like my IQ is dropping 100 points just by, what I see people tweet on both sides. Um, and to be honest, I ask myself like, why do I do these, or what's the purpose of this? And I don't really know. I just do it because I feel like it. But I guess here I am once again, just pissed off, disgusted at basically everything. I don't want to say pissed off or disgusted. It's actually more than those two feelings. It's just really annoyed. It's really annoyed. Um, if this is the first time like you're seeing my face or hearing me talk, you guys know, or you guys may not know, but I'm a huge Dragon Ball Super hater. Dragon Ball is my favorite series, but basically when Super was still airing as an anime, I used to do reviews and rants. So basically on every episode for the most part. Maybe there was a couple here and there that I didn't. Actually, if I remember correctly, my favorite episode of Dragon Ball Super, which I actually thought was pretty decent in hindsight. I mean, maybe I'll have to go back and rewatch it and get a clearer picture now that it's been a couple of years. But I think my favorite episode was episode 129, the episode at the end when Goku turns mastered Ultra Instinct, even though I hate that form and I just hate Super in general and whatnot. But yeah, I'm a huge Super hater for those of you who don't know. So I dropped Super. I finished the anime, but I dropped the manga. I dropped the manga between in the Moro arc when Vegeta and Goku were getting ready to fight Moro, and I know granola and stuff is happening now. So my only knowledge of what happens in Dragon Ball Super nowadays is what I see, whatever crosses my timeline and tweets. I don't follow any DBS account. I don't follow any of the official Dragon Ball accounts. At least I don't think so. Because I just don't have any interest in it. And my mental space and my thoughts and my energy is better directed towards more, better things and quite honestly better things and just more, you know, just better things like Metroid Dread, for example. Game of the year, by the way. Finally beat hard mode under 4 hours. So, and I got 100%. So yeah, game of the year. That or Hitman 3. Even though I haven't played Hitman 3, but I like Hitman 1 and 2. Um, so yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not even gonna watch the new movie well. I'm not gonna watch the new movie that comes out with the Gamma 1 and 2. And again, I only know their names because I bothered to do a little research on Twitter. But what is this video about? It's about Bardock. So I saw the summary spoilers for the new DBS chapter. I think it's 77, and it's something about how Bardock saved, Granola and his mom, and he said that in Namekian. Monaito, I think his name is Monaito. Which I'm surprised I even remember. I even know that name. But yeah. Anyway, I think I remember like the end of the spoilers, the chapter. It was something like the other group, the Heaters. They were the ones that actually killed Granola's mom, not Bardock. So Granola's his rage at the Saiyans is misguided, and everyone saw that plot was coming from a mile away. So it's nothing fucking new. Um, but there was a moment in there was something in this chapter, right? It was really about Bardock, and it was a comment that Vegeta made about Goku, and it was something along. And I'm not paraphrasing here. Well, I am paraphrasing here, not quoting directly or correct, or probably even like word for word. But it's something about how he said that Goku seemed to have inherited Bardock's kindness. So before I go into like this whole thing, maybe I should just start at the beginning, about like everything that I hate about this, and then I guess that will lead into the discourse that I've seen on Twitter that's been annoying me on both ends. And then on top of that, it just really goes to show why I just don't associate with anime communities and any like at all anymore. Because if this is the kind of discourse that happens, I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't even, well, sometimes I want to see it just to laugh, but unfortunately for me, the things that I like for the most part have all, heavily dropped in quality, or they just don't exist anymore. There are some good things here and there, but Dragon Ball is one of those franchises that I'm talking about. I'd even, Gintama eventually turned to crap. Well, not crap, but it definitely got worse in my opinion. Not even because of Utsuro, because of other things like that Kamui Rakuyo Showdown arc. But that's a whole different, you know, discussion. Metal Gear, Yakuza. You guys who've watched my streams and watched my videos, even though I'm not even a big channel at all, you guys probably know what I'm talking about when I'm repeating the same stuff over here. But what was I saying? Yeah, so unfortunately these things, for whatever reason, they're inundated now by younger fans, newer fans, and just really makes that the whole any incentive for me to I guess enthusiastically speak with other people about something or to interact with them basically makes that null. But why does this whole, I'm 7 minutes and I really haven't even talked about Bardock, so again, this is where the sleepiness and the tiredness comes in, so I apologize. But why does this whole thing suck for the most part, right? So the point, so let's start with the original series, the original manga, right? Part of Goku's character during the Saiyan and the Namek arc is him finding out that he's a Saiyan, and how that really awakens some of the more fucked up parts of his character, right? The ability for him to basically, risk the lives of the people that he cares about and risk the lives of the citizens of the world just for the sake of a good fight, how that correlates with the Saiyan nature, how really that's not essentially something too new, but with the revelation that he's a Saiyan, he does it on a more conscious level. He does it on a more, what's the word? That behavioral pattern is more pronounced, right? But part of the that revelation for him, and really the theme of Goku's character during those two arcs, is that even though Goku is a Saiyan, he is the first good Saiyan, and really at that point, if you were reading the manga in 91, 90, 91, 89, whatever it was, yeah, 89, 90, 91, whatever it was, he was the first good Saiyan ever. And DBS very soon, retconned that with Battle of Gods when they had 5 good Super Saiyans exist to create Super Saiyan God. Total fucking bullshit for all the, it's shitty writing for all the obvious reasons, right? First of all, Super Saiyan was set to only arrive once every 1,000 years, I think, or once every millennium. I think millennium and 1,000 years are the same, but basically it was supposed to be very rare, and the fact that Goku was a good Saiyan who achieved this was what made Goku unique, as a Saiyan. He wasn't Vegeta, but, Vegeta was the stereotypical Saiyan, bloodthirsty, warmongering, cunning, underhanded, all these things, right? And Goku was not that. And that was kind of the point, the fact that he was unlike the Saiyans, yet it was his unlikeness or his differences between him and the stereotypical Saiyan like Raditz or Nappa and Vegeta and even Bardock. It was his care for Krillin when he died and that rage that unlocked his Super Saiyan transformation. And the fact that he was the first Super Saiyan in 1,000 years was very ironic, and that was something that was very thematic. So when you have five good Super Saiyans exist for the sake of Super Saiyan God, that completely erases the whole thematic and symbolic meaning of that. So that's one thing. The second part that I want to talk about is this Bardock, him being good. Well, so Bardock being good because of all the reasons that I said, that's fucking bullshit too, right? That's all. That's shitty and bad writing. There should not be a good. There shouldn't be a good Saiyan at this point in the past, except for Goku, because that's what made Goku special. The fact that he was a good Saiyan, and then him having Gohan and then Goten, and then Vegeta and Trunks, or Vegeta changing because of him, and then Vegeta having Trunks, and that's when good Saiyans started to appear, and they started to be a thing. And of course, you have Universe 6, but that's DBS. That's a whole, other discussion. Apologize if I'm rambling. Like I said, melatonin's no joke. But it's for all those reasons, Bardock being good and him sparing sparing people because, he has a heart or whatever it is, that shouldn't happen. But the point that I want to get to is what Vegeta said about Goku. The fact that it seems that he inherited his kindness from Bardock. And there's basically two groups on Twitter that I've been seeing that are discussing this. So one is saying that Vegeta, one is saying that, Dragon Ball has now made it so that Goku has inherited his kindness from Vegeta instead of hitting his head. And this is actually the side that I actually agree with. The part that the part that I dislike that this same side is using, however, is the fact that Vegeta and Nappa heard everything on through the scouter when Goku and Piccolo fought Raditz, and they heard everything that they were saying, their whole conversation, and so they know that Goku hit his head. So that's one side, and I'll explain that in a bit. And then the other side is saying that Vegeta doesn't know that Goku hit his head, and that he's saying that this is he's saying it sarcastically, or he's saying it because he doesn't know it. So, Torichar did no wrong, it's fine. He doesn't know that Goku hit his head. And this is a discussion that's really just making me facepalm and just really question the intelligence of everyone involved. So even though I agree with one side, the thing that I don't agree with is the fact that just because Vegeta and Nappa heard everything over the scouter, the fact that they should automatically remember and know that Goku hit his head. This just makes this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, and this is the thing that really happens in anime, more so anime than any other, thing that I can think of, because they take things too much at face value. Right? They take things too much at face value. The fact that, oh my god, he heard that Goku hit his head and he heard everything. So he knows everything. Everything that was said from when Raditz was touched down, and he was at Kami's house, at the Kami house, Kami Sennin / Roshi's house, and every single line of dialogue they're going to remember, and it just registered in the brain like, oh my god, they have such good memories. They're going to remember this for the, oh my god, like, oh, I got him. He said it. And it's just like, dude, my goodness. Dude, listen, just because they said something like that and they were overhearing it over the scouter doesn't mean that it's going to register in their brain and they're going to remember it. That's number one. But number two, that line of dialogue that they were speaking about is of no consequence or of no significance whatsoever to Vegeta or Nappa. When they overheard everything that, was going on between Goku, Piccolo, and Raditz, the point that stood out to them was the fact that Gohan was a half-breed. And that there were Dragon Balls. That's where the whole, listening in on the conversation thing came from. That was the point of it. What the fuck are they gonna, that's like saying, okay, they should know who Krillin and Bulma are before they even see them. Krillin and Bulma were there at Kami's house, right? Why were they so surprised when they saw them? When they finally arrived on Earth. These are the sort of like common sense things that you got to use. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, just use your common sense and use your brain for the love of God. You think if they said like Goku has a spot on his dick, that Vegeta's gonna remember that and Nappa's gonna remember that. He has like a 3 centimeter spot on his dick. They're gonna remember that. They're gonna remember. I don't fucking know the fact that there was a talking turtle. They're gonna remember that shit. Oh, because it was said like while they were listening in like. Anyway. So that part I don't agree with. I mean, I agree with them that this is pushing the idea that Toyotaro is putting this in there because he is trying to push the idea that Goku got his kindness from Bardock, and that's shitty writing. So I do agree with that. And basically, that's what this video is about, like why that doesn't work, right? Now, on the other hand, there's people on the opposite side saying that Vegeta doesn't know that Goku hit his head. And I'm actually agreeing with them here too. They don't know that Vegeta doesn't know that Goku hit his head, or at least maybe through some maybe through some magical what's the phrase I'm looking for? Not lucky moment. What I don't even know the phrase I'm looking for. What through some magical 1 in a million chance, I guess. I can't think of a better phrase to use, but 1 in a million chance, he remembers every single line of dialogue and, every single thing, every single word down to the accent and every character that was talking while they were fighting and whatnot. Like he remembers that shit. Like it's registered in his brain. It was over 25 years ago, or was it 25 years ago? How long was it? 7-year time skip, at least 5 years now that Pan is born, so 12 years, so 15, somewhere around 15, 18 years, something, I don't know. We'll just say 15, 18 years. It was 15, 18 years ago, and he's going to remember that shit. Anyway, right? Maybe through some magical, like, 1 in a million chance, like, he remembers that shit. But the point is, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter whether Vegeta knows or doesn't know that Goku hit his head. What matters is the fact that Vegeta said that line. If you are an author, right, and I am drawing, and I have my page, and I'm drawing, and I'm creating these boxes and these characters and their speech bubbles, right, and I have a character say a line of dialogue, right, there is a purpose behind every single line of dialogue that a character makes, whether it's of no consequence, whether it's supposed to be funny, whether it's supposed to be some sort of plot exposition, or some lore dumpings, whether it's supposed to be some sort of exposition, whether it's supposed to be some sort of emotional moment, character moment, whatever it is. There's always some reason for why a character says what they say. And there is some sort of intent by the author to have that character say what they say. So, again, it doesn't matter whether Vegeta knows or doesn't know that Goku hit his head. What matters is the fact that Toyotaro wrote Vegeta saying that. And if he wrote Vegeta saying that, then you have to ask yourself, why did Toyotaro have Vegeta say that? And the answer is obvious. Because he is trying to push the idea that Bardock is a kind Saiyan and that Bardock is responsible for Goku's kindness. There is no other reason why Vegeta would say that. Ask yourself this. If Vegeta doesn't know that Goku hit his head, then why would he say it? Why would Vegeta say it? What is the purpose of us as readers seeing Vegeta say this, even though we know it's not true? Just ask yourself that simple question, and you'll quickly find yourself realizing that you don't have an answer for that. Just as we see with Universe 6 Saiyans, just as we see with Super Saiyan God, just as we see with Bardock in Dragon Ball Super Broly, and this reworking of Bardock's character as him having some sort of morale and honor, when really originally in the original TV Bardock special he was just loyal to his friends for the most part. And so that's what it is, right? Again, it doesn't matter if Vegeta doesn't or does, if he does or doesn't know. Whether he does or doesn't know that Goku hit his head isn't the point. The point is that Vegeta said it regardless. And when you have the character say a line of dialogue, when an author has a character say a line of dialogue, there's always an intent and a reason behind why he or she has a character say that, that said line of dialogue. And quite clearly, if you look at it from a big picture, it's not even just like, it's not even using your brain too hard. It's just using your common sense and just looking at it from like a big picture, thing. The reason Vegeta says what he says about Goku and Bardock and them being kind is because Toyotaro is trying to insist that Goku got his kindness from Bardock. Whether Vegeta does or doesn't know Goku hitting his head, it doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter. And the other thing that I saw was like, people were trying to put in like Dragon Ball Minus and stuff. Dragon Ball Minus is already not properly adapted in either DBS Broly or the Super manga. It isn't. So that, anyway. Jesus Christ. This video would be a whole lot more coherent, if I'd actually written out like a script and everything. But it's just like I see discussions like these on Twitter like a lot more frequently than I would like to, and I just really have to question like the intelligence of these fans. Really, I do. Because on one hand, you have people saying that every single line of dialogue that was said between these characters is going to be remembered by these characters. Not only, it's not even the fact that time has passed, it's the fact that such a line of dialogue like that is so important that it's going to be remembered. It's the fact that it's like damn it. Again, this is my brain going like all over the place, but it's like saying that I don't know, Bulma showed up to Kami house like in a fucking ship, and so they should know that Bulma has a ship or an airship, right? They should know what Bulma and Krillin and Gohan and all of them are. Well, they know Gohan because they realize half Saiyans are a thing, but and then on the other hand, you have all these people saying that Vegeta doesn't know Goku hit his head. Well, again, you have to look at it from a big picture thing, and this is the part when you're a manga reader, or if you're just a reader in general, you gotta ask yourself, what is the author trying to accomplish here? What is the point of this? Is there some sort of intent behind this? And maybe Dragon Ball isn't the most philosophical manga out there, or the most intellectually written, or the most cleverly, well, I would say it's actually pretty cleverly written, but it's not the most intellectually stimulating manga or anything like that. But at least there were certain themes in Dragon Ball and certain intentions and certain beliefs by Toriyama, and certain things that Toriyama did that you can see that he believed in, that made its way into the manga, such as Toriyama like intentionally making Goku lose because he knew that the readers wanted him to win. He was intentionally like going against their wishes because of that, right? So you can see Goku lose like quite a lot actually, like early on in the tournaments. He doesn't beat Cell. He needs help to defeat Boo, so on and so forth. He doesn't defeat Beerus even in DBS. So there's always like these things. But again, every line of dialogue, everything has some sort of intent and purpose behind it. And now, let me give you another example. Do you remember in the Androids arc, I won't call this a famous scene, but I'll call it like a sort of a semi-pseudo famous scene, right? And it's one of when, so it's right before 18 and Vegeta fight, right, in the Androids arc. And it's this panel where like 17 is, I don't know if this is the exact panel, but I know it's like during this whole scene. But there's a scene of 17 walking away. It's the panel of 17 walking away. So they're on the highway. He's walking away and he's looking back. And then 18 and 16 are behind him. And he's, talking about, some shit. He's saying something. But eventually the topic of 16 becoming a mechanical, or being a fully mechanical model, is brought up, right? And then 17, then we see like after this fact is revealed, there's a panel of 17 thinking to himself like, so Dr. Giro went back to mechanical models. Why did you do that if we are, if we were human based? And, that's a question that, meant either some people pick up on or they don't. But, once you put the clues together and you pick up the pieces, once Cell comes and, you understand like what happens with Cell and how he absorbs people, you realize like the reason 17 and 18 were based off of humans and the reason he went back to mechanical models with 16 or with, well, actually 16 came before them, right? Yeah, so the reason why he went back to mechanical models for himself in 19 was because 17 and 18, they needed to be human models so that they can be absorbed by Cell. There's actually a moment where Cell stabs 16 in the neck and he's unable to drain his energy because he's fully mechanical, right? But the reason 17 and 18 are human-based is because that's what allows him to absorb them. It's the same reason how is he, when he first meets Piccolo, his debut, Cell's debut in the series, when he absorbs that man, he's a full flesh and blood human. He's, he's organic. So that's the case. What am I trying to accomplish by bringing that to you guys? I'm trying to show you that there's always like some sort of like intent or purpose behind every single line of dialogue for the most part. It's either trying to paint a picture or paint the scene or something. So you got to ask yourself this: if I'm a reader, why would Vegeta say what he said about Goku, right? Maybe he just doesn't know. Okay, so let's actually play with the idea that, let's actually go with the idea that Vegeta doesn't know that Goku hit his head, and he's just saying this because he doesn't know that, right? He's just saying this because he doesn't know that, right? Okay, so if he's saying this because he doesn't know that, right, then obviously the intent is for Vegeta to learn this later, then, right? I mean, wouldn't that be the obvious thing for you guys? You're so adamant and confident that Vegeta is saying this because he doesn't know that Goku doesn't hit his head, which I actually agree with. But if since he doesn't know that, then you got to ask yourself, like, why is he saying this? What does this phrase and line of dialogue accomplish in the bigger picture? And so you have either you admit to yourself that, okay, this is going to be a plot point that Vegeta's going to learn that Goku hit his head, just like how oh yeah, this is a great comparison. Vegeta never knew that Beerus told Frieza to blow up planet Earth, right? And then he finally learned it, or sorry, not planet Earth, planet Vegeta, and then he finally learned it, right? And not to backtrack on this conversation, but once again shows the shitty writing of Dragon Ball Super, because on one hand, Beerus says he told Vegeta, or Beerus said he told Frieza to destroy planet Vegeta because he told him to do so, and then now in this DBS rewrite we have a completely different reason. Frieza destroys planet Vegeta because he was afraid of the Saiyans and Super Saiyan God anyway. There we go, contradiction in the writing of Super. Anyway, that's out of the question. But again, right? If Vegeta doesn't know this and he's saying this like he doesn't know this, then the intent would be that he has to learn this later, right? Just as he did with Beerus and Planet Vegeta, which was also in the manga. But you and I both know that shit's not going to fucking happen. There's nothing of consequence there for Vegeta. It does nothing for Vegeta. There is no reason, there is no advantage or no character arc, or there's nothing that Vegeta gains by learning that Goku hit his head as a kid and that's why he turned good. So, if we know that fact, then what is the other avenue? That other avenue is the obvious. That Toyotaro is quite obviously trying to push the idea that Goku got his goodness from Bardock. And again, it does not fucking matter that Vegeta said or didn't say, or that he does or doesn't know that Goku hit his head as a kid and that's why he's good. What matters is the fact that he fucking said it regardless. And there was a clear reason and a clear intent behind it. And that reason is Toyotaro trying to do what I just said. Bardock inheriting Goku inheriting Bardock's kindness. Which then begs the question, what the fuck is up with Raditz then? Why didn't Raditz inherit any of that? And you can obviously say, oh no, he was hanging out with Vegeta and Nappa, he had to da 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 da. Okay, fine. But Bardock was hanging around with, he was basically hanging around with way more Saiyans than Raditz ever did, and that too as an adult. He still had a chance of goodness. Why couldn't Raditz? Another plot hole and contradiction there. And so, ultimately, no matter how you try to slice it, the entire point of this video is me trying to say that no matter how you try to point and slice this shit, that line of dialogue should for whatever reason, Vegeta's ignorance to Goku hitting his head, Toyotar trying to push Goku hitting his head, or Toyotar trying to push Bardock giving his, or Goku inheriting Bardock's kindness, whatever it is, whatever the reason was, whichever reason you want to go with, either way you slice it, it's just shitty writing at the end of the day. And it contradicts a whole bunch of other shit previously that was said in the original series. And that's just the way it is. And that's all I have to say. 30 minutes in. I wish this was a better video. I really do. But, rambling like I did I probably rambled incoherently. I probably didn't make any fucking sense, but I don't give a shit. If anything, even if you didn't understand what I said, at least you watched my shit for 30 minutes, or 31 minutes and 31 and a half minutes, and I don't know. Either you enjoyed it or you didn't, but I don't care. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Fuck Dragon Ball Super. Fuck the manga. Fuck the anime. Just let this shit die already. And for well, I don't know. Has it been like a year or two since I've dropped the manga? For all this shit, still nothing has changed. And it's no surprise at this point. But I guess I can always hope. I guess I can always hope that DBS can improve to a good part. Some people were saying that the Moro arc was actually the best Dragon Ball stuff since Baby. I mean, in my opinion, Baby's not that high of a benchmark to pass, but at least when I saw the ending of that fight with Susanoo Goku and fucking Moro becoming like the Demon King from Seven Deadly Sins, like at the end, like when he fuses with the earth and shit, I was like, oh god, how this fucking trash and whack. Anyway, oh god. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching a sleepy dude ramble for half an hour. Yeah. Fuck Super, and you should feel bad if you like it.